This is what you should do, and this is something you probably never thought about. Welcome back to our video. Today, we'll be discussing the infamous phenomenon known as flying monkeys. But before we dive into that topic, be sure to click the notification bell and subscribe to our channel so you can stay updated on the latest content related to narcissism. You'll soon discover a treasure trove of informative and engaging videos that may be new to you, but are filled with valuable insights. Now let's return to our primary subject, the concept of flying monkeys. In this video, we'll explore how to handle a situation where a narcissist in your life attempts to turn others against you. As a member of a society plagued by self-centered behavior, you may have encountered the term flying monkeys. This term describes the narcissist's tactic of approaching your parents, friends, siblings, co-workers, and anyone in your social circle, spreading negative stories about you in an effort to undermine your support system and gain allies. The phenomenon of flying monkeys is particularly common during divorce proceedings. In such cases, where the divorcing parties share extended family and social networks, the narcissistic spouse seizes the opportunity to approach their soon-to-be ex-partner's friends and disseminate damaging narratives, effectively shaping the narrative to their advantage. Their ultimate goal is to recruit these individuals to their side, thereby weakening their partner's support system and reinforcing their own perceived dominance. In a narcissistic relationship, the victim already grapples with self-doubt, largely due to the narcissist's gaslighting tactics. When their trusted network is also close to the narcissist, their self-doubt deepens. You may wonder, how do they manage to pull this off? In essence, narcissists possess a great deal of charm and charisma. They appear generous and exhibit a strong understanding of social dynamics, making it effortless for them to build relationships. Their adeptness at manipulating people and convincing them of their fabrications is truly remarkable. They skillfully utilize their charm to establish both a logical and emotional connection, making people eager to assist them. They will stop at nothing to tarnish the reputation of their daughter, sibling, or friend, and set the tone for the conversation. When narcissists convey negative information about your loved ones, their delivery may appear condescending and calculated. But beware, as these are just some of the tactics they employ to elevate their status. They excel at manipulating people into doing their bidding, a rather unsavory trait. They might exploit your past actions against you, or fabricate elaborate stories riddled with blatant falsehoods to further their agenda. Their objective is straightforward. They seek to establish dominance, and the only way they can achieve this is by garnering widespread support. In some respects, their strategy parallels what children do on the playground during games. However, their ambitions are considerably more serious, and their methods are disturbingly effective, as they aim to exert control over every facet of their environment. For a narcissist, success is paramount. Their driving force is the acquisition of power and control over others, which, in turn, bolsters their self-esteem. But what can you do if you find yourself ensnared in their manipulative web? It's essential to recognize that narcissists often thrive in scenarios known as flying monkey situations. First and foremost, allow yourself the necessary time to grapple with your emotions regarding this issue. When a narcissist poisons the minds of people who were once close to you by disseminating false allegations, it's entirely natural to experience feelings of sadness and hurt. You might notice individuals avoiding you, failing to return your calls, or cancelling plans, creating the sensation that everyone is inexplicably distancing themselves from you. One example that comes to mind is a man whose brother is excessively self-absorbed. Despite his brother's concerted efforts to besmirch his reputation and spread malicious tales among their family and friends, he maintained his distance. Nonetheless, this act of psychological abuse had a profound impact on this kind-hearted individual. To address the emotional repercussions, prioritizing your well-being and seeking support from trusted friends, family, or a therapist is crucial. Moreover, it's essential to stand strong and counter their baseless allegations with rational evidence while reconnecting with those impacted. During a family gathering, the compassionate brother found himself taken aback by the chilly and indifferent treatment he received from everyone. He began to question his actions, wondering if he had inadvertently harmed someone, as he couldn't fathom the reasons behind their behavior. He even contemplated whether he'd missed news of his own demise or some other inexplicable occurrence. Several months later, a member of his social circle informed him of his brother's intentions to disseminate falsehoods and fabricated stories about him. This revelation hit him hard, and upon reflection, he recognized how masterfully the narcissist had manipulated conversations and events he previously dismissed as inconsequential. It was disheartening to witness how swiftly and effectively the narcissist had manipulated others. Despite the family's intricacies and various dynamics, the kind-hearted sibling was left heartbroken and bewildered about what steps to take. This group of individuals, who had stood by him before, had now turned their backs on him. Many of you may have experienced similar situations, with potential harm and strain at work, in your community, or within your family. Narcissists often lack empathy, failing to comprehend the consequences of their actions on others. Their deceitful tactics can have severe implications for those they aim to harm. Upon inquiring whether the people he had lost were important to him, I received an affirmative response from the compassionate brother. I advised him to reach out to them and engage with them on a personal level, devoid of any need for self-defense, elaborate explanations, or mention of his brother's narcissism. I stressed that these loved ones already held a positive opinion of him, and he should simply be himself in their presence. They had been misled by his brother's deceit. He wisely followed my guidance and commenced these conversations. It was fascinating to observe their perception of him transform as they discovered his genuine kindness and unique qualities. While they remained somewhat perplexed, it was understandable given the circumstances. He acknowledged that there had been some inappropriate discussions within their family and extended a heartfelt apology if they had been exposed to hurtful information. With this approach, he successfully reconnected with most of the people who had distanced themselves and managed to rebuild their trust and confidence in him. I deeply empathize with the anguish you've endured and can imagine how distressing it must have been to witness friends and family gradually swayed by the narcissist. Some individuals who had previously held you in high regard were able to swiftly overcome this challenge, whereas those who remained unwavering in their belief in the narcissistic lies were even more disheartening. When you reached out to discuss your situation, I urged you to reflect on whether people who could readily abandon your side were truly worth preserving in your life. I understand the difficulty of this task, especially when dealing with individuals you've known for an extended period. However, the ease with which they were swayed by one person's falsehoods raises questions about the strength of your initial bond. Furthermore, it raises the question of why they didn't engage in direct communication with you when the individual tarnishing your image was a family member, spouse, or close friend. This underscores the significance of communication, honesty, and open discussions. In situations where someone spreads lies and rumors about you, it is vital that those in your immediate social circle pause, take a step back from the stories, and muster the courage to engage in direct conversations with you instead of accepting what they hear as absolute truth. If your friends and family genuinely cared about you, those with healthy relationships would have approached you directly to express their concerns. People with solid connections are typically the first to reach out, saying, "Hey, I've just heard something quite distressing," as exemplified by the kind brother in the preceding case. In the recounted story, the kind brother's sole dependable friend was the first to sense that something was amiss and engage in a direct conversation with him about it. Over time, more people within the group began voicing their concerns as they discerned a disconnect between what they knew about him and the baseless allegations lodged against him. Most often, the sincere individuals in your life will see through the deceit and manipulations, and they will approach you openly. However, the process of rebuilding your image can be disheartening, especially when you've done nothing wrong. It demands substantial effort, mental resilience, and time to navigate this unjust and distressing situation. Experiencing the examination of your relationships can indeed be unsettling, yet it may reveal a silver lining by exposing the true nature of these bonds. It is imperative to ascertain whether those easily swayed were genuine friends or mere acquaintances. My advice to those who have been affected by flying monkeys is always to respond with grace and compassion. Narcissists excel at manipulating individuals and exploiting their vulnerabilities, and in such circumstances, it is crucial to extend kindness to those who may have been deceived. Rather than outright refuting the rumors, it is more effective to convey empathy and acknowledge the difficulties the person has faced in having to confront such unfounded allegations. Express your regret that they were placed in a distressing position and reassure them that they know you well enough to recognize the falsehood of the claims against you. Encourage them to engage in direct communication with you in the future and convey your willingness to listen and provide support. You can utilize your personal experience of hurt to exemplify your character and your readiness to assist others. To counterbalance the darkness of a narcissist's actions, you must bring forth light. Narcissistic individuals are primarily motivated by fear, leading them to utilize others as pawns in their strategic games. When they disseminate false narratives about you to generate animosity among others, it is all part of their manipulative game. They aim to deceive as many people as possible into siding with them, creating a ruthless web of deceit. However, you need not allow them to succeed. There is a possibility that the narcissist in your life may inappropriately divulge private information about your relationship with others. This could involve betraying your trust and disclosing sensitive details that were meant to remain confidential. In such instances, it is vital to make amends for any missteps on your part and take the necessary steps to rectify the situation. Therapy can be a valuable resource during these challenging times, particularly when dealing with the effects of gaslighting, which can lead to feelings of instability and confusion. Remember that you have individuals who stand by your side and actively seek their support. Much like the story of the kind-hearted brother, certain people in his circle had heard things that they instinctively knew were false. These are the individuals you should rely on for assistance. If flying monkeys and narcissists succeed in turning people against you, the silver lining is that it reveals who your true allies and friends are. If individuals are willing to abandon you so easily, it may indicate that the foundation of those relationships was not as solid as it initially appeared. In conclusion, combating darkness involves bringing light to the situation. Seek out the love and support of those who believe in you and will stand by your side during challenging times. These are the painful stages a narcissist experiences when you walk away. Have you ever wondered about the aftermath of breaking free from a narcissist's control? In a recent conversation, we delved into the stages of narcissistic abuse, which typically includes cycles of idealization, devaluation, discard, hoovering, and repetition within narcissistic relationships. Yet, What transpires within a narcissist's psyche after you finally part ways is often a topic left unexplored. This inquiry aims to shed light on a subject of significance that is frequently overlooked. Many individuals harbour concerns about the narcissist's next steps and how things will unfold post-separation. While each situation carries its own unique traits and unpredictabilities, this examination draws from the experiences of others, combined with my personal insights, to reveal common patterns and tactics employed by narcissists who strive to rebuild their self-esteem by painting you as the villain in the relationship. Let's embark on this exploration of what transpires once you successfully extricate yourself from a narcissist. Before we proceed further, I encourage you to like and subscribe. Through this channel, we aim to raise awareness about the vast realm of narcissism, fostering public understanding and encouraging self-improvement opportunities. So, what unfolds when you make the decision to sever ties with a narcissist? The initial step involves introspection and recognition of the pain and abuse endured throughout the relationship. However, the narcissist may find it challenging to accept your departure, especially if you make it explicit or even hint at your intention to leave. I, too, was unable to fathom that my partner possessed the fortitude to terminate our relationship. I was so convinced of my own influence and the situation's unalterable nature that I dismissed the potential consequences. In my naivety, I assumed that life would swiftly return to normal, unaffected by any change. Narcissists share this sentiment due to their unwavering belief in their own superiority and indispensability, making it difficult for them to comprehend why someone would choose to leave them. Despite their disbelief, you stand firm in your decision to sever ties. You take the necessary steps to disentangle yourself from the relationship, which may involve strategies such as ghosting, cutting off all forms of communication, or selecting a moment to depart, such as when they are occupied with work or home alone. The primary objective is to create some distance from the toxic dynamic, allowing room for healing and personal growth. The aftermath of breaking free from a narcissist is characterized by intense shock and a sense of betrayal. The narcissist is caught off guard by your unexpected departure, even though they have subjected you to mistreatment over an extended period. They cannot fathom that you would genuinely walk away, and they are perplexed that you believe in your own decision. You might feel tempted to recount all the instances of hurt and exploitation you endured at their hands. However, it's vital to recognize that the narcissist remains indifferent to your suffering. Their paramount concern revolves around the perceived betrayal of ending the relationship. Following the initial shock and the sensation of betrayal, the narcissist's fury emerges. Your act of breaking free from their control has incited their wrath. While moments of tears and sorrow may briefly surface, their underlying emotion is predominantly rage. They seethe with anger toward you for daring to challenge their superiority complex. In their eyes, you were nothing more than a possession, a plaything they could manipulate and discard at their convenience. Your departure has shattered this delusion and defied their manipulative tactics. The audacity of your actions strikes a nerve. The narcissist's sense of entitlement to you becomes intricately intertwined with their feelings of betrayal. They believe they have a right to the relationship and the image they have painstakingly cultivated. They yearn to project the facade of a contented, well-adjusted couple in order to secure the approval and admiration of others. As they grapple with how to regain control after the separation, they might choose not to divulge the news to anyone, maintaining the illusion they've crafted. The narcissist then embarks on a phase of self-gaslighting, during which their focus shifts away from you and turns inward. They construct a narrative to account for your departure, convincing themselves that your alleged infidelity, waning interest, or other perceived transgressions were the driving factors behind the breakup. They compile a list of your perceived flaws and employ this inventory to rationalize your departure, thus exonerating themselves from any culpability. My inability to take responsibility during an affair led me to deflect blame onto my partner and others involved. I assumed a victim mentality as a means to absolve myself from accountability. Narcissists sidestep truth and shield themselves from guilt by revising the narrative and casting blame on others. So, what follows in this intricate process? The subtle smear campaign, which might have been ongoing throughout the relationship, unfolds after or concurrently with self-gaslighting. The narcissist discreetly vents grievances about you to their circle of friends and family. They may assert that you've undergone a transformation, becoming more irritable or even abusive. Through these insinuations, they gradually sway others toward their distorted perspective. Their ultimate objective is to tarnish your image, aiming to undermine your self-esteem or elicit a response from you, prompting you to question your decision to leave. Ending a relationship is challenging enough, but it becomes even more arduous when people unfamiliar with the intricacies of the abuse you endured cast doubt on your choice. Furthermore, the narcissist takes a reprehensible course of action by enlisting the involvement of other individuals, often including extended family members from both sides, to further their own agenda. These unwitting participants are deceived into assuming the role of flying monkeys, deployed to monitor your activities, tighten the narcissist's control over you, and generally undermine your self-worth. Narcissists portray themselves as benevolent individuals, while in reality they conceal the severity of their abuse. They adroitly draw these individuals into their distorted realm, where they may receive validation and reinforcement for their own skewed version of events. I've observed this recurring pattern. When you cut ties with the narcissist, they adeptly befriend your friends and family members, even those they previously had no genuine reason to associate with. They might start attending the same church as you, despite showing no prior interest in religion. This is all part of their calculated strategy to amass greater power and control across various domains. Consequently, you might encounter individuals who have been misled by the narcissist regarding your alleged issues, often fabricated, approaching you with apparent concern. The narcissist employs their manipulative skills to extract more information from these individuals and foster connections with them. Now let's shift our focus to the concept of flying apes. These unwitting participants are leveraged not only to influence your perceptions, but also as a means of seeking retribution. The narcissist's resentment intensifies when they realize that you are resolute in upholding your boundaries and won't yield to their demands. As their deceptive tactics continue to backfire, their frustration grows. In some cases, stalking may escalate. The narcissist follows you persistently and attempts to make unwarranted contact through various means. You may receive unsolicited texts, calls, or messages from them, and you may wonder why they persistently intrude into your life. Viewing your departure and reassertion of autonomy as a personal affront, the narcissist seeks to impose on you the suffering they believe you've inflicted upon them, potentially resorting to acts of vandalism and physical or psychological aggression. The narcissist will stop at nothing in their quest for revenge and will mobilize their legion of flying monkeys to execute their scheme. Under the narcissist's influence, these individuals facilitate their ongoing campaign of harassment and control. Driven by an insatiable craving for approval, narcissists will spare no effort to thwart any challenge to their privileged status or their reputation within the community. Consequently, they will go to great lengths to ensure you're suffering, deriving pleasure from your distress. Narcissists frequently attempt to inflict harm by thrusting themselves into the limelight and garnering admiration for the first time. They showcase their new significant other in front of friends and family, inundating social media with praise about this person. The insinuation is that you were a damaged and unworthy individual, and thus they have moved on. Their well-established tactic is to deliberately plant seeds of doubt in your mind, making you receiving everything you once desired. It's crucial to remember, however, that the incoming supply also cannot fulfill all their desires. To keep the new supply entangled and constantly seeking validation, the narcissist adeptly withholds essential attributes or fosters a sense of scarcity and unmet needs. The arrival of fresh supply acts as a trigger, an effort to entice you into pursuing the narcissist, allowing them to revel in your pursuit, reinforcing their fragile ego, and momentarily soothing their anxieties. When their previous loved ones reject them, they seek the reassurance of being pursued by someone else. The narcissist is easily distracted by the entrance of a new supply, enabling them to shift their focus to the next target or conquest. Convinced that this new person can rectify their past mistakes and transform their life, unaware of the narcissist's troubled history or true nature. To cast themselves as victims and absolve themselves of past wrongdoings, narcissists are skilled manipulators and narrative architects. Assumption 2. Once the narcissist secures new supply, they won't attempt to return. However, it's vital to recognize that this is rarely the case. Despite any fleeting illusions, the presence of a new supply will not resolve underlying issues or alter the narcissist's core nature. You may wonder if the narcissist has truly changed, only to discover they continue to reach out, resurfacing in your life and striving for substantial interactions. This pervasive pattern of behavior is likely due to hoovering tactics, a hallmark of narcissistic conduct. The narcissist's interest lies solely in their own desires, even if they are in a relationship with someone new or have children together. Their primary objective is to maintain connections with all their ex-partners, using these interactions to satisfy their physical, emotional, or sexual needs. Staying in touch with former flames provides them with an adrenaline rush. On occasion, the narcissist may attempt to beg and plead their way back into your life. When someone begs for your attention after previously abandoning you without any concern for your departure, you may naturally question why they've had a change of heart. However, it's important to recognize that the narcissist's pleas are often a manipulative tactic. Their begging stems from a place of frustration at losing control and being rejected by you. Fueled by an entitlement to control and possess you, they perceive it as their inherent right. The narcissist may employ various strategies to entice you to reconcile, but once they believe they've regained control, the begging will cease. They may gradually withdraw from conversations with you, or even go silent. Occasionally, they re-emerge, seemingly making an effort to fulfill your unmet needs within the relationship. However, it's crucial to understand that this is all part of a scheme to regain control over you, a manipulative pattern they repeatedly employ. There's always a risk that the narcissist is manipulating your interactions with them, whether they are attempting to win you back or discard you again, in order to maintain control over the relationship. It's essential to recognize that hoovering is not a genuine display of care or concern, but rather a manipulative and controlling technique. I hope this explanation has provided you with a better understanding of the various processes and dynamics at play. Please share in the comments which stage you are currently experiencing. This will help connect you with others that are going through similar situations, fostering a community of mutual support and understanding. Your interest is greatly appreciated, and I look forward to our future interactions. If you found this information helpful, please subscribe, like, and share this post. We'll be back with more insights in the next video.